All right, we are on chapter 5 of book 15, Vikings at Sunrise. And remember, they had just found their book at the monastery with Brother Patrick. Nope, Brother Michael. So Brother Michael was writing the book that Morgan was having them look for. So let's find out what happens. Chapter 5, Warships on the Waves. "We found our story," said Jack. "Yay," said Annie. "Indeed," said Brother Patrick. "But, alas, Brother Michael has not yet finished his work. You will have to come back for it another time." "Oh, shoot," said Annie. Jack was disappointed too. "I don't know if we'll be able to come back," he said. "I don't know if we can even leave without the story," said Annie. Brother Patrick looked confused. The two kids looked at each other, then back at Brother Patrick. It was too hard to explain about the treehouse and how the magic worked. Jack shrugged. "We'll just have to try," he said. Outside, the church bell began ringing. "It is time now for our sunrise prayers," said Brother Patrick. "Will you join us?" "Thanks, but we better try to go home now," said Jack. Brother Patrick nodded and led them into the garden. When he opened the gate, they stopped. The horizon glowed pink and purple. The sun had started to rise. No one spoke as the great fiery ball rose slowly over the ocean. Finally, Brother Patrick broke the silence. "Shine, O light of the sun," he said softly, "on this day filled with wonder." "That's beautiful," said Annie. Jack smiled. He agreed. Brother Patrick turned to them. "It is such sights as this that inspire our bookmaking," he said. "Now go, and may God be with you on your voyage home." "Thanks," said Jack and Annie. "Do you need me to guide you to your boat?" he asked. "I don't think so," said Jack. "Follow the path to the top of the cliff," said Brother Patrick. "Then use my rope to help you down the steps." "Okay," said Annie. "Bye," and she went through the gate. Jack wanted to go home, but he hated leaving the monastery. It was filled with people doing his favorite things, reading and learning. "I really like it here," he said to Brother Patrick. "I'm glad, but you must go now, while the weather is with you," said the monk. "Everything can change in an instant." Then Brother Patrick turned and went into the church. Jack hurried out the gate. Before he went further, he stopped and pulled out his notebook. He quickly made 2 lists. To make a book, you need sheepskin, goose quill, paints. To make paint, you need earth and plants. Here's his list. "Come on," Annie called from the top of the steps. "Coming," Jack called. He put away his notebook and ran along the dirt path to the edge of the cliff. Overhead, flocks of gulls circled in the purple sky. Their cries sounded like screams. "What's wrong with them?" Jack said. "Maybe they always do this at sunrise," said Annie. "Let me go first." Clutching the rope, she started down the steps. Jack grabbed the rope and started down. The birds' cries went on. They worried him. They sounded like a warning. Jack reached the rocky ledge and let go of the rope. "Let's go," Annie called from the treehouse. Jack looked at the horizon one last time. His heart nearly stopped. A ship was outlined against the sky. Behind it, he saw 2 smaller ships. As the ships came into view, their bright sails were filled with wind, and their serpent prows blazed in the new sunlight. "Oh no," Jack whispered. "Vikings!" Chapter 6. The Vikings are coming. "Annie!" Jack cried. "Vikings!" Annie looked out the treehouse window. "Vikings? They're headed straight for the island," said Jack. He turned back to the stone steps. "Where are you going?" cried Annie. "To warn the monks," Jack said. "I'll come too," cried Annie. She scrambled out of the treehouse. "Hurry," said Jack. Jack didn't even use the rope. He pulled himself up the steps with his hands. As Jack and Annie climbed up the face of the cliff, clouds began to cover the sun. When they reached the top, a fog had almost hidden the ships. "Run!" cried Annie. The fog blanketed the whole island. Jack and Annie could barely see the path to the monastery. When they arrived at the gate, the misty white world was silent. "Vikings!" Jack cried. "Vikings!" "The monks are still in church," said Annie. She yanked the bell rope. Dong! Dong! Jack and Annie watched as Brother Patrick and the other monks ran out of the church. "The Vikings are coming," Jack shouted. Brother Patrick's rosy face turned white. "Make haste," he said to the other monks. "Gather the books and hide." The monks ran into the library. Brother Patrick turned to Jack and Annie. "We have a secret hiding place, a cave on the other side of the island," he said. "You can come with us, but I am not certain if you'll be safe." "Don't worry," said Jack. "We're going to try to go home." "Do not use the steps," Brother Patrick said. "The Vikings will climb up them." "Then how do we get down?" said Jack. "Go that way," said Brother Patrick, pointing. "At the cliff's edge are 2 large rocks. A path between those rocks will take you down to the shore. Then you can walk around to your boat." "Thanks," said Annie. "Be careful," said Brother Patrick. He hurried inside the library. "Wait!" came a thin voice as Jack and Annie turned to run. It was Brother Michael. He hobbled over to them, holding out his book of Irish tales. "Take it," he said. "Are you sure?" Jack asked. He knew it was Brother Michael's life's work. "Please," said Brother Michael. It is better that the world should have some of it than none at all, just in case." "We'll take good care of it," said Jack. He gently placed the jeweled book in his leather bag. "Good luck," said Annie. Annie and Jack waved goodbye to the old man. Then they raced to the rocks that Brother Patrick had told them about. So here's the picture of the monastery huts and Brother Michael and the book that he had almost finished, and it was the book that Morgan wanted them to bring back. And so now Jack and Annie are going to hurry back to the treehouse. Let's see if they make it. Oh, that's the end of chapter 6. So I guess we'll have to wait till tomorrow to find out what happens. I'm so excited. Tomorrow we'll read chapter 7 called Fog Bound. See you guys tomorrow.